Welcome to Just Not Cricket, a football podcast. My name is Hal Stewart. Adam Scott is alongside me. We are back once again. A bit of a Charlton Athletic special that we've got coming up for you today, Adam.
You say special.
It's got Charlton in it, and
features Charlton Athletic.
We've literally never mentioned them before.
Don't think we have.
Oh, no, we have.
We have.
There we go. We both got it at the same time.
We have the memorable match.
That's it, against Sunderland.
Sunderland against Charlton in the Championship playoff final, although probably the First Division then.
You got round to watching Sunderland Till I Die on the Netflix?
I don't have the Netflix.
Wouldn't you get it just for this? You can get a trial, watch it, and then cancel.
Well, that feels disingenuous.
It does. It feels awful.
It's like buying a fine ball gown, wearing it, and then taking it back to the shop.
But don't you want to see a Sunderland fan yell an obscenity at Chris Coleman, and then hear Chris Coleman furiously say, "I'm a married man with 6 kids"?
Was that just so you could do a Welsh accent?
It's pretty convincing though, wasn't it?
Chris Coleman was right here with me. And you know what? That made me happy.
The mysterious player of mystery.
It is 10-7 to Adam.
There it is.
Last week you got Graham Lasso, which I set for you. This week you're setting a mysterious player for me. If I get it correctly at the end of the podcast without asking any questions, I get 3 points, will be 10 all. If I have to ask the player's position, I only get 1 point. And obviously if I don't get it, it's nil point.
I have 2 players in front of me. I had one and I thought maybe it was a little bit too easy.
Thanks.
So I thought I'd make it a bit harder.
What, by asking me to guess 2 players?
Just one. The second of the 2 that I was...
Are they twins?
Yes.
Okay. Peter Cech is a twin.
Yes, of his brother.
That's right. Could have been his sister.
It could have been.
But do you know the reason he wears the sort of skull cap, what do you call that, the rugby hat?
It keeps his head warm.
It's because a twin has a thinner skull than, your average person.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got that injury from Stephen Hunt, it was actually a lot more serious for him. So he has to keep wearing that. 20 years in his career, he's worn that probably for 15.
I can't imagine him without wearing it.
No, you can't even picture him. Even when he does interviews without it, you're still putting it on
I
your
am
mind.
mentally dressing him. So would you like some clubs?
Yep.
This player started his career at Flamengo before moving, as many Brazilians do, to Portuguese football and Benfica. He then spent time in Italy with Roma and Genoa, returning to his homeland with Rio Branco, and finally ending his career in the slightly strange setting of San Marino with Morata.
Okay, that's pretty tricky. I may well need to ask the position. We will come back to that later. Now, we're back to a game that we played a little while ago. We still never really settled on a name. Cash or trash? Money or funny? Wonga or wronga?
That was the one.
I'm going to ask you which of these is the currency of a certain nation.
Uh-huh.
When you get it correct, or even when you get it wrong, when I give you the answer, I want you to tell me something about football in that country.
Okay.
So we're adding an element here. You're going to have to do a lot of work.
I don't like doing work.
You'll see how you get on. Which of these is the currency of Bulgaria? Is it A, the lev, B, the lav, or C, the love?
It's the lev.
It is. So, something about Bulgarian football, please, that pops into your mind.
Bulgaria's greatest player is Hristo Stoichkov, who famously played for Barcelona. He was part of Johan Cruyff's all-conquering Barcelona side. And also, very famously, bad-tempered.
Was he?
Oh, yes. He was a wonderful player, but he had that temperament.
They sometimes do.
He was violent to the point of vicious sometimes.
Wow, your opinion.
But he was a fine player to watch. And, yeah, when I think Bulgarian football, I think Hristo Stoichkov.
Now, Adam hasn't been prepped for any of these, so he's doing pretty well already. Which of these is the currency of Honduras? Is it A, the Hondu, B, the Lempira, or C, the Kunar?
I like the middle one.
B, the Lempira, that is correct.
There we go.
2 out of 2. So a bit more difficult. Something about Honduran football.
Wilson Palacios.
I knew you'd go there. Where else is there to go?
He is a Honduran international midfielder who played for Wigan Athletic and Tottenham Hotspur.
I think his brothers play as well.
Yes.
I think there's a plethora of Palacioses.
Palacii.
Is it? Last one of these. Which is the currency of Paraguay? A, the Garoni, B, the Guarini, or C, the Guarani?
It's the Guarani.
It is! Something about Paraguayan football. 3 out of 3.
There's also a club side in Paraguay called Guarani.
That may have been how you got it. Stats and stuff. There's one that I've got here that you might like. Cristiano Ronaldo. In Serie A,
Yes.
as at current time of recording, 19 games that have been played for
Yes.
Juventus. Cristiano Ronaldo has had 50 shots outside the area in
Right.
Serie A. In La Liga, Last year, at the same time, 19 games, he'd had 23 shots outside the area. Double, or just over.
So what is that telling you about Serie A?
They don't close down their men outside the box.
Is that your detailed technical analysis?
I'm like Bielsa. Have you got anything statty and
Do
stuffy?
you think that spying on the opponent should warrant a points deduction?
No, it doesn't bother me
It's
at all.
a ridiculous suggestion, and no, it shouldn't.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
I have one thing I could tell you. Do you remember Rivaldo,
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
former World Player of the Year? Also, he had officially the most sensitive knee in world football.
Oh, because against Turkey,
Oh, the pain that racked his body.
well, he went to his face.
Exactly. That's how painful it was.
It travelled up his body at a record speed.
It did.
Can you remember who it was that booted the ball at it?
Yes, it was Hakan Ünsal. I know my Turkish 2002 World Cup team. I don't know why,
No, it's strange.
but I know it.
And the beautiful Ilhan Manzis watching on with those eyes.
What a handsome chap he
very
was.
good looking fella.
Became a figure skater. Rivaldo, he's back in the game. Not on the game,
He might
in
be.
the game.
So his son's playing and so is he.
He's not playing.
Oh.
He's, like, as the kids say, well old. But no, he has become the technical director of Shabab Mohammedia.
Where's that?
You mean you haven't heard of this particular club? Good
Shabab,
Lord.
no.
What makes it somewhat unusual is that the club, based just outside Casablanca and Moroccan league champions in 1980, are currently playing in the third tier in Morocco. I read this story on the BBC, but it sounds like it's made up.
I don't think it is.
I mean, why?
So that he'd get on the Just Not Cricket podcast.
It's actually his second spell in African football, because I'm sure you remember that back in 2012, he spent a season at Kabaskop in Angola. You remember that, don't you?
Nope.
He also applied his trade in Uzbekistan.
Yes, he did, yes.
Very, very career Rivaldo.
Where in the world is Hector Couper?
Hector Couper, he's in Uzbekistan.
It all ties in beautifully, like a big circle. Right, middle name game. How good are you at middle names? You've done all right so far.
I have one.
You do. What is your middle name? Do you dare to reveal it?
Arcadius.
Ah, makes sense. Hakan Mild. Is his middle name A, Stig, B, Hakan, C, Makan, or D, Botox?
Well, first of all, I think you only had three options last time, so you
Yeah,
have
thrown in an
you've
extra one.
overplayed your part. Hakan Mild, Swedish international defensive midfielder, formerly of IFK Gothenburg. Some extra facts for you.
Yep.
I forget the first two options.
Stig.
Stig. We'll go with Stig. That sounds good.
His middle name is not Stig.
Oh,
His first name is Stig.
his middle name is Hakan.
His middle name is Hakan.
Oh,
Sneaky.
The sneaky Swede.
Ian Rush. Is his middle name A?
Ian.
Is his middle name A, Thundermouse, B, James, C, Tom, or D, the NutriBullet Pro?
Now, I'm pretty sure the NutriBullet Pro didn't exist when Ian Rush...
Maybe it's named after him. Like the George Foreman grill. Did you ever think about that?
Honestly, I hadn't.
No, well, you should have done. Now you look stupid.
What was the first one? Danger Mouse.
Thundermouse.
Thundermouse.
For trademark reasons.
And the two in the middle?
James. Bit ridiculous.
Ian James Rush.
And Tom.
Ian Tom Rush. Ian James Rush.
It is.
There we go.
And you missed out MBE, so I cannot give you any points.
Oh, and you're right not to.
Wikipedia Club.
Didn't go all the way to getting those made, not to use them.
I mean, that really sets the scene, doesn't it? Sets the tone.
Now we know where we are.
I just feel a burst of energy when I hear that. Club Deportivo Guadalajara.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We're going all the way to Mexico.
South of the border, down Mexico way.
Do you know there are no mental institutions in Acapulco?
Club Deportivo Guadalajara. Often simply known as Guadalajara, and most commonly Chivas.
So they're also known as Chivas.
Chivas.
Is that what Chivas USA were named after? This club?
Chivas USA were a feeder club, or they were a
To this-
splinter club of Chivas
To
Guadalajara.
this club?
Yeah.
So they wear red and white?
Yes.
I like them.
They're a Mexican professional football club based in...
Guadalajara.
Well done, you're paying attention. Guadalajara is one of the 10 founding members of the Mexican First Division and is one of only 2 teams that have never been relegated to the second tier.
Wow, they're like Everton.
Guadalajara, the Mexican Everton, is the only top-flight football club in Mexico to exclusively field Mexican players.
Meverton.
So it might be unusual to learn that the most Mexican of clubs was founded in 1906 by a Belgian.
That is odd.
Edgar Everart founded Club de Football Union with a core of Mexican, Belgian and French players. The club's red, white and blue kit is either based on the French tricolour or the colours of Everard's favoured team, Club Bruges.
They should be, because he's the guy who created them, they should be sponsored by Viagra.
Everard.
Oh, right, okay.
Everard.
Mm.
Also, you didn't pick up on the fact that Club Bruges don't play in red and white stripes.
They play in blue and black.
They do, but in the past, they did play in red and white stripes, and their away kit is that red and white stripes. During a tour of Europe, Everard noted that clubs named for their local communities generated much more support in those communities. So in 1908, he renamed the club Club Deportivo Guadalajara, a name it still holds to this day.
But does everyone call it Chivas?
Yeah. 1908 was also the year the club won its first amateur title. It would win a further 12 before the league turned professional in 1943. In the professional era, the club has had much success, winning the Primera Division or the Liga MX 12 times, the Copa Mexico or the Copa MX 4 times, the Campeone de Campeones, the Champion of Champions, 7 times, and the Supercopa MX once, and also 2-time winners of the CONCACAF Champions League, which of course is the big one, as we all know. As we have discussed, the club are commonly known as Chivas. Do you know what Chivas means?
Waffle iron.
Oh, you're so close.
I knew it would be.
Want to have another stab?
Titmouse.
Oh, even closer. They are the goats. They play in red and white striped shirts.
Is that because if you throw a goat down a hill, it will come out red and white?
They play their football at the Estadio Akron. And as is a tradition, would you like to have a stab at the capacity of the Estadio Akron?
29,000.
Oh, you are underselling them. This is one of the most popular clubs in the land. In a land of football fanatics.
49?
46.
Okay, that was a better guess.
46,232. The inaugural match was a 3-2 Chivas win over Manchester United in 2010. Javier Hernandez opened the scoring for Chivas in the first half before playing for Man United in the second half to represent the fact that his transfer to the club had already been agreed. The club is owned by the billionaire business magnate Jorge Vergara. I'm never sure if it's Jorge or Jorge. I think actually it might be Jorge because I think Jorge is the Portuguese-speaking world.
That's right.
Jorge Vergara, the founder of health product conglomerate Grupo OmniLife and a successful film producer, whose credits include the Oscar-nominated Ito Mama Tambien.
I've seen that.
There you go.
Yeah.
You love all that arty stuff.
I do. I like a foreign film. Don't like the mainstream.
No.
Don't like a blockbuster.
How do you feel about Jurassic Park?
I hate it.
Ridiculous. The club is coached by former Paraguayan international striker Jose Cardozo. I always find it odd. Do you get this with Bilbao as well? Those clubs always field players, from Bilbao's case, just Basque players. In Chivas' case, just Mexican players. Always have foreign coaches.
And they don't get relegated, although Bilbao, Club Athletic, currently, as we speak, in a bit of bother.
Timeless.
Oh,
Timeless.
fine.
Past players include the aforementioned Hernandez, the striker Omar Bravo, the midfielder Marco Fabian, and the former Arsenal attacker Carlos Vela, currently playing his trade in the MLS.
That's right.
With Los Angeles FC.
Yes.
Which took the licence once owned by Chivas USA.
Nice work, Adam.
There you go.
Full circle, once again.
And that is Club Deportivo Guadalajara.
Adam, now we're going to have a joke off. The way this is going to work is I'm going to tell Adam a joke, he's going to tell me one. Whichever one of us laughs, loses. I have done football jokes.
I haven't.
Okay, I'll go first. And this gag is written by a man called Alex Keeley.
You've stolen other people's jokes.
I'm not going to write my own
You didn't
jokes.
write your own material.
So you've written brand new jokes, have you?
Any
If you're going out
similarity to jokes existing is purely coincidental.
Why do English football fans taunt Germany with 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup when the Germans could chant 4 World Cups and a consistently higher score on the UN's Human Development Index?
I mean, it just went on a bit long.
Nothing for you out there. Okay, I'm not laughing either. Yes! 1 point!
I'm laughing
1 point to me!
Laughing at your reaction
Doesn't
to your
matter.
own joke.
This is a non-laughing segment.
I didn't laugh at the joke.
You laughed.
I thought you were doing like
I
5.
didn't think this feature would be controversial. This will be a bit of fun. We'll bond over this.
What's black and white and eats like a horse?
A zebra? That's more factual. Right, this one from Leo Curse. My mate thinks that all life on Earth began in Dubrovnik. He's a Croatianist. It's quite clever. Nothing. You're just terrified of saying anything now, aren't you?
Well, now that you have ruined the whole game with your controversy,
I just laughed.
Again, that doesn't count.
Oh, I feel like it should. All right, we'll say it's 0-0. How's that?
Yes.
Okay. I just feel like this is never going to end unless we have someone laughing.
It needs to end.
All right.
What's ET short for?
Got little legs.
Got little legs.
Okay. I left 2 Sheffield Wednesday tickets on my dashboard yesterday. Someone smashed the window. Left 2 more.
I don't have the strong feelings about Sheffield Wednesday that you do.
You think I should have replaced that with... Well, West Ham don't have any rivals, do they? I mean, you might say Millwall, but Millwall care about lots of teams in London.
There's not a lot of love for Tottenham.
But Tottenham hate Chelsea and Arsenal.
Leyton Orient.
I left 2 Leyton Orient tickets on my dashboard yesterday. Someone smashed the window. Left 2 more.
Turns out I don't have strong feelings for Leyton Orient.
Fine,
either.
right. What's your one?
What is the UK's leading cause of dry skin?
Oh, I feel like this is going to make me laugh. Go on.
Towels. Oh, you nearly.
Oh, it's good.
You nearly cracked.
It's good. Like the skin. What did the manager do when the pitch became flooded?
I don't know.
Sent on his subs.
Oh, because they're like underwater
submarines, yeah.
ships. Well, they're boats. Are they boats, submarines?
I think they're boats.
I think they're considered boats.
The U-boat.
Oh, yeah. What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo?
Oh, I nearly went then. Be strong and be still.
That isn't even the punchline.
No, I like the a Zippo thing because
Okay.
I don't know what that is. Do I need to know what that is for the joke?
Oh, yeah, you might, actually.
Yeah. Is it something to do with smoking?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't think I do know what it is. What is the difference between a hippo and a Zippo?
One's really heavy and one's a little lighter.
What happens when the opposition cross the halfway line at Hillsborough?
I do not know.
They score a goal.
Again, I feel not having the strong feeling about Sheffield Wednesday.
Brisbane Road. Did you know that was Leyton Orient's ground?
Yes. Thank you, yes.
If we were counting laughs in between, you probably would have just won it, so you may well regret that decision, sir. Final one. We'll never do this again.
I left the best one till last.
Oh, here we go. We'll
The
find
big
out.
gun.
Yeah, it's bringing it out.
Bit blue.
Is it?
A little bit.
It's a family podcast.
What do you get if you cross human DNA with goat DNA?
I don't know.
Asked to leave the petting zoo.
Well played, sir. Well played. All right, either way, Adam would technically have won. Congratulations, you win the joke off. We have a visitor.
It's going to be a song, isn't it?
Hey, sexy fun boys, Rudy Von Tempelschlöpen here, Hall and Adnan. Let's get down, you boys ready for me to unleash the dragon? Disco fever, rendezvous, party pants, sexy glue, party people in the place, a goatee on my face, funky rhythm, boogie down, leather chaps cruising town, nightclub with my pal's wife, sunglasses in the night, Rudy from the Netherlands, I touch people with my hands, use my mouth to say words, I like cats, rabbits, birds, hips, lips, thrust, strut, clean, shave, hair, cut, hips, lips, thrust, strut, clean, shave, hair, cut. Rudy, that's my name. Rudy, aquaplane. I'm in water now. There's a speedboat. We're having a very sexy time. Splash, splash. Come on, Halenad man, the water's fine. Jump on in. Oh, yeah. Hips, lips, thrust, strut, clean, shave, hair, cut. Hips, lips, thrust, strut, clean, shave, hair, cut. Butts, smut, king, tut, golf, putt, pay, cut. Pine nuts, chest nuts, hazel nuts, cashew nuts. I like nuts. And women. Many, many, many women.
I think I hated that more than the weirdo with the van.
Just Not Cricket, a football podcast, and welcoming another guest to this particular edition. It is Matthew Morrison, a Charlton Athletic fan. Welcome.
Hello, Hal.
Ah, just me.
I'm here too. Hello.
Hello, Adam.
All right, now, Matthew or Math, which do you prefer?
I'll go for math, please, Hal.
Then Math is what you shall have. So Charlton Athletic, why do you support them?
It's my father's fault, really. We had a lot of teams to choose from in London, and chose to take us to Charlton, we were playing at Selhurst Park at the time. For years, I thought that was our home. I didn't know that the Valley was a thing, and sadly, things haven't really got an awful lot better.
Well, so they did really, because there was a period of time when Charlton were just a staple in the Premier League under Alan Kirbishley, and then it was very much a case of careful what you wish for, because some Charlton fans felt that Kirbs hadn't taken them as far as they should have gone, maybe further into Europe. He went, and I think Les Reed after that, and managers like that just didn't work out, and now Charlton are in League One.
Obviously, Dowie came in, and that turned out well. Ex-Palace man, that wasn't great. Les Reed, as you said, a series of other managers, people from Belgium. I'm not buying into it, mate. It's just, well, I am buying into it. I've got a season ticket, but my heart's broken.
You were actually involved in some of the protests against De Châtelet, is that right?
Obviously, we've done this fake funeral thing. It was a mock funeral symbolising the death of Charlton Athletic. And I was one of the pallbearers for that. So we carried a coffin down Charlton Church Lane and along Floyd Road to the Valley, which was great. We got a lot of press. A lot of people picked up the story, which was a PR thing, really, just to let the world know our difficult plight. I mean, the guy's doesn't look like he's going. There's been a lot of speculation, but he wants a ridiculous amount of money, Hal. It's just a bit sad, really.
Adam, do you want my joke about De Châtelet when Matthew walked that coffin right in front of him? He must have De Chat himself.
Hey, he has a bit of a footballing empire, though, doesn't he? It's not just Charlton. He owns a number of clubs, I think.
I mean, he had the age for a while, but he sold. His son owns somebody. He's got. They're not good teams.
I think he owns a team in Hungary, so Peshti, I think he owns. And
Yeah,
I think it's
right.
Alcajon in Spain, possibly.
I have a quick question for you, right? Who is the best ever player that you think you've seen play for Charlton before we get your favourite 11? Just the one that think, wow, this guy was exceptional.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be Super Clive, isn't it? I
Clive
mean, he's the boy.
Mendonca.
Of course. I mean, without his hat trick at Wembley,
No, Clive Tilsley.
one of his left, one of his right, and one with his head as well.
Well, you've had some very interesting players over the years and a number of foreigners, so let's get your favourite 11. This isn't necessarily the best 11 you've ever seen, where the red and a little bit of white, it's the favourites that you've enjoyed with your own eyes.
That's it, mate. So obviously, I'm just gonna chuck them in. They may not be in order, and I've just scribbled this on the back of a old box. So let's see how we go on.
Nice to know you've put quite a lot of effort into this podcast. You'll be the first person not to do them in order. And are you actually going to try and construct a 4-4-2 like everyone else?
No, mate. There is.
It's all over the place.
We may have a team of like 6 defenders and 3 goalkeepers.
3 goalkeepers. Okay, I may allow it.
So I'm going to start with the Catania. Obviously, Charlton hero, Sheffield Wednesday legend, West Ham legend. He's in there. What do you think of him?
Oh, he's fantastic.
Paolo Di Canio.
I feel like there's mixed feelings as to,
well,
as
maybe
to Paolo Di Canio.
You boys are probably quite fond of each other because whilst Charlton and West Ham geographically are quite close, Charlton did play, as you mentioned, at Selhurst Park, but they also ground shared with West Ham for a period of time at the old Upton Park.
They were great days. Things with West Ham I don't really get. They're supposed to be like a bunch of hard men, oh yeah, we're well hard.
Adam.
And they've got a bubble machine.
I don't really think I can comment.
No, I think you should stay out of
any
this.
of that.
Yeah, Adam's the man behind the bubble machine.
I petitioned, and there it is.
So next we've got another legend, Marcus Tugai, who played the 2 games for Charlton. Absolute legend in Sheffield. So
I think it's going to be all former Sheffield Wednesday players.
Because I'm not going to like it.
Because I'm seeing the theme and I'm enjoying it.
we've got Chris Bart-Williams in midfield.
You're joking.
Played alongside Samido. Played
Nice.
135 games for Charlton.
Okay, you are doing this. Fine.
Morgan Fox at left back, went to Sheffield Wednesday. Richard Wood played 21 games for Charlton in 2013.
Fine player.
When are you going to give us your real 11?
This is the real
No,
11.
it's not. This is all former Sheffield Wednesday players. I know exactly what you're doing.
Richard Wood is a fine player. So is Chris Bart-Williams.
Tell you a little fact about Chris Bart-Williams. He actually asked when he played for Sheffield Wednesday. He was on the bench at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final, and he asked Trevor Francis if he could sit on the bench and listen to his Walkman. And Trevor said yes. So if you ever see any of the clips of Trevor on the bench, behind him is Chris Bart-Williams, bopping his head, not interested in the game at all.
What was he listening to?
That may be, we try and get quite deep on this podcast, do a bit of a deep dive and go as far as we possibly can, but I think that may be a bridge too far.
Do you want to know who's in goal? Nicky Weaver.
Yeah, I knew it'd be Weaver.
Yeah. Shall I fill the gaps in?
No.
I'll be honest with you, I've struggled to find any more connections, so these are actually real Charlton players who I like. Chris Solly, obviously been at the club for a long time.
Still there, right?
He's still there. He's got a bit of a dodgy leg, or dodgy knees, or something's broken in him, so he's stuck with us, basically.
Is that a problem for a footballer?
I suppose if you want to progress, if you want to play at the top level, yeah, but I mean, he's playing in Division 3, mate, so
Yeah, true.
he'll be fine. He'll be fine where he is. Mark Kinsella, Absolute legend.
Yeah, Irish central midfielder. Definitely part of that Alan Kirbishley Premier League team that I was referring to earlier.
And Jensen as well.
Klaus Jensen, the Danish midfielder.
I mean, he was great. And that goal he scored against Arsenal at Highbury, I don't know if you remember it, we beat them 4-2. Mate, it was a worldie.
There's some good players in there, the final three. You're not going to have Lyle Taylor?
No.
Ricky
no,
Holmes?
No. Oh, there's one more, mate. My centre-back, Steve Thompson, who actually played for the Blade, you may know. He had a really nice moustache as a child, and I thought it looked like my dad's moustache, so he's sort of become my all-time Charlton favourite.
Child with a moustache. How young was this child with a moustache?
Well, how old was the moustache?
So I was a child.
Right.
And he just had a cracking moustache. So,
oh, you
and
were
it
the
looked like my dad's
child,
moustache.
he had the moustache. Okay.
All right, now, Math, let's get a little quiz for us. You've heard how this has gone in the past. You're going to ask Adam and I some questions about Charlton Athletic, and let's see how we do.
The first question is, Charlton hold the joint record for the highest score draw. What is it?
Adam, would you like to go first?
No.
All right, I'm going to say 6-all.
I'm going to say 7-all.
Okay, one of you two boys have got it correct. And it's how?
Yes!
6-all.
I was going to go 6-all as well. I should have gone first.
Yeah, you should have done. I gave you the option.
I was doing that strategy thing again.
Well, you can go first next.
It worked last time, but this time it's fallen down.
I don't think he's going to do closest. It's either going to be right or wrong.
Say you'd said 8-all, then what?
Then we'd have had to fight to the death.
I think Adam would have won. I would have had to give it to him because he would have been closer.
Yeah.
Right, well, that didn't happen.
Fair point. Listen, mate, so the next question is, these might be too easy, I'm not sure. What is Charlton's nickname and why?
Oh, I tell you what, I'll do the what, you do the why.
Well, I know the what.
Their
but-
nickname is the Haddocks.
And why? I'm going to say... I mean, it's not even spelt the same so as like an actual addict. So I'm going to say it's something to do with clothing.
Any particular item of clothing?
Trousers. Shorts, probably.
Back in the day, we had a guy who had a fish and chip shop round the corner, and at the end of the game, he would give free Haddock and chips to all the players. So there'd be Haddock and chips, and over the years, Haddock has become Addick. That's the story. I don't know if it's true, but that is the folk tale.
I like that.
I thought that was a really terrible reason to get a nickname.
No, I think that was quite nice.
It'd be fine if they were called the
I
Haddocks.
also like Haddock and chips, so maybe I'm swaying by that.
How far away are Charlton from the nearest fishing port?
So this is the third question. Where are Charlton rated in London? Obviously, there's a certain amount of clubs in London. How are Charlton rated as in the best in London? So currently, as things stand in the Football League, where are Charlton rated in terms of teams in London?
Okay, so I'm not actually going to work this out, although Adam's got paper and he's actually doing the league table thing. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say 9th.
7th.
I think it's 8th.
Even you think. It's your
I'll
quiz.
be honest, I don't know the answer.
Right, the way a
I
quiz
had a
works...
different question lined up, and that just popped into my head.
Okay, why don't you give us the one you had lined up, which may or may not have the answer for?
But this is a better question.
Well, it only is if you know the answer, especially as
Yeah,
we've
fair
both
point.
gone one away. So we need to know.
So who's Charlton's most capped player?
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, no, I like that. Mark Fish.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Yeah, thank you. Radoslav Kishishev.
Oh, that's a great shout. I like that.
Yeah, boy.
Now you've ruined it. I don't know. I don't know.
I've given you 2 and you haven't given me any.
I blanked. Kinsella.
Is it Mark Kinsella?
Yeah, it's correct. 33 caps, Mark Kinsella. Bosh.
Look at that, stole it at the end there.
I'll have to get back to you in retrospect and let you know the answer to the
Yeah,
other
not
pretend
really
question.
how podcasts work, but we like that.
I have written down 7 teams now in London that I think are above Charlton in the
Okay,
league structure.
you got Millwall in there?
No.
There you go. Yeah, that's the
No,
first
I
one.
haven't.
thought you
I've
might
now
have
got
forgotten.
8.
I've got a feeling it was 9. I don't know why I've got the number 9 in my head. I did count it up like about a week ago, but it was forgotten, basically. It's just escaped me.
I said 9, so let's go with 9.
Congratulations, Hal.
Matt Morrison, our world-famous Charlton Athletic fan, with questions nobody knows the answers to unless they've got a league table in front of them. But as this is timeless, that answer will constantly change.
Oh, that's true.
Terrible question, really.
The mysterious player of mystery.
Oh, I haven't got a clue. Can you give us the clubs, please, Adam?
I can. And I guarantee you will know this player. Flamengo of Brazil. Benfica of Portugal. Roma and Genoa of Italy. Rio Branco of Brazil. And Murata of San Marino.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask the position. I didn't want to. I'm going to have to.
Central defender. Of those clubs, he played the vast majority of games for Roma.
I've got two in my head.
330 games he played for Roma.
I've got two in my head that are big Roma central defender. You said central defender.
I say central defender.
I'm thinking either Aldair or Carlos Antonio Zago, but I don't think you'd make it that hard. I'll have to go with Aldair.
Aldair.
Yes!
Roma legend. Aldair.
Yeah.
80 caps as well for his native Brazil. Do you want to know how many goals he scored? Do you want to guess how many goals he scored from centre-back in 80 games?
0.
3!
Oh, okay. I gave him absolutely no credit. Well done.
In his 330 games for Roma, 14 goals.
Prolific.
Wasn't really his strong suit, but it
Wasn't
didn't have
his
to be because
forte.
he was a fantastic centre-back.
That was tough. So that means it's...
I mean, Zago would have been, I think,
very
unnecessarily difficult.
10-8?
Yes, that was 1
10-8.
point. Yeah, I mean, I did give you an extra clue, I feel, but you can have the 1 point. Because it was a bit tricky.
Do you know what? Because I feel like you didn't like Rudy's song, I've got another one for you. Do you want me to just squeeze it in at the end? But this one,
I've heard you say that before.
kind of making it up as I go along.
Are you? I mean, that hasn't come across at all. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh la la, it is Vincent Candela, Adam. Come with me, under that tree. Stop, I need a pee. That person, join Menage a 3. Stop, let's go to the shop. Buy us a tea for you and me, so we can sit down and watch TV. A house, a little car. Stop, Adam, it's too much too far. Too quick, I'm sick. Get out of my life forever. No, never. I want you back. Never leave me. Now, meet Stevie. He's a man. Guess what, Adam? He drives a van.
Vincent Candela there, a teammate of Aldair at Roma. It all ties in. And you know what? We will see you at the beach.